Mr. Happy Living here, and I'm happy to be broadcasting from WITV 7 in the beautiful Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina, USA. Hey, friends, come and join me for just a minute and try to imagine how awesome you'd feel living the unique and distinct life you were put on this planet to live, doing work you love, with people you love, in places you love, and all the while creating something of real value to others. That's what I call a life of significance. And I can tell you it makes for a very happy life. And so can Zach Fike. He's my guest star today, and he's here to share his unique and distinct journey to his life of significance. Hey, Zach, welcome to the show.
Hey, Matt, thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here today.
Wonderful. Just get us started by telling us what you're doing these days to make your mark of significance on the world.
I keep myself pretty busy. I'm currently serving active duty in the United States Army. I'm a military brat. Both my parents served, my grandfather served, and I've been serving. I've had the blessing to serve my country for the past 25 years. Still got a little bit of life in me. I think I'll serve another year or two before I get out and focus on the other thing that I'm blessed to do, and that's run the organization Purple Hearts Reunited. And essentially, we're returning lost, stolen, or misplaced military artifacts back to the veterans or their families.
It's awesome. I know we'll get into that a little deeper. And thank you, Zach, for that and for your service too. Now let's do a little mathematics with our friends all around the World Wide Web so they can get to know you through our happy formula. It's very simple, but it's very powerful too. And it goes like this: power plus purpose equals happy. So let's start with power, Zach. What are your personal practices for generating all the power that you need to get things done, whether that's physically or mentally or spiritually or financially or emotionally? In other words, Zach, what do you do on a regular basis to create all the power you need to take really good care of yourself and your loved ones and still have plenty left over so you can be a giver to others?
I think, like the military has taught me over, the last 2 decades, you got to keep yourself physically in shape. That's tough to do. I like to eat, breads, pastas, you name it. But unfortunately, at my age, as I get into my mid 40s, I can't do that anymore. So I pledged myself to keeping healthy. I try to do ice baths every morning. I don't know if anybody in your community likes cold plunging, but I find it exhilarating and it really starts my day. Eating right. I'm currently on the carnivore diet. Essentially, you can't go wrong with that diet. You get to eat all the meat you want. Apologize if I offend any of the vegetarians out there, but growing up in the woods with my father and hunting, it's kind of part of our family tradition. So eating carnivore, keeping the weight off, really energizes me and focuses me once I hit the gym to really start my day and to be able to balance and juggle all the things that I have going on right now. And as well as my spiritual connection. I probably don't go to church as much as I should. Please, God, don't strike me down. But I do have conversations with him on a daily basis. And that's how I root or nest with him. And he really kind of guides me, on my path through this incredible journey.
Very good. And very smart to check in with the aging process, because what we could do in our 20s is different than what we could do in our 30s and our 40s and our 50s and 60s. And so it's a continual check-in and making modifications, and that keeps you on the right path. So Zach, now let's dive into my favorite power generating concept. It's called a Kaizen state of mind. And it's this beautiful Japanese idea that small incremental improvements add up over time to yield great big results. And I love it because it's based on mindset, not circumstance. Kaizening life is knowing there's always something I can do better tomorrow than today. And it creates this optimistic, gentle, but powerful and continuous uplifting of my life day after day after day. So Zach, how does Kaizening your life help you increase your power to continuously become more so you can continuously give more?
Well, beyond my connection with God, it's got to be my kids. They drive everything mentally, physically, and spiritually. As a father, it's probably the most prestigious thing I could do in my life. Put military aside, put nonprofit aside, put personal friendships aside. being a father is probably the most special thing that you could be blessed with.
Mm.
And so every decision, every ounce of my strength that I give within a day is focused on how I can improve my relationship with them, and how I can set a positive example. I think it's important as a father to show them that anything is possible, whether it's through dedication, hard work, suffering, sweat, and tears. It is my job, if I do anything in life, is to show them a positive example that they can accomplish anything with hard work and determination.
Very good. What age are you, Zach? Turning inspiration into action. I share the transformational process that I've used to discover my purpose using inspiration. So how about you? Was there a specific moment or event or crisis or inspiration that revealed to you the purpose you were meant to live?
It came to me through the, I guess, naturally through God or a higher power. I wasn't expecting to start this nonprofit. I didn't sit down and build out a business plan. I didn't say, hey, this is what I want to do in my life. It essentially came to me. I just had to open up my eyes and see exactly what it was. In this case, it was a Christmas gift in the form of a posthumous Purple Heart. I knew through my own service, through my family service, that that medal had significance, but it wasn't until I returned it that I saw how the impact could change a family.
So
Whether it was
how old were you when you got that gift?
this would have been over a decade ago, so I was in my mid 30s,
Okay.
probably around 31, 32. So my whole life was just the military at that point, and serving my country. This other mission came out of nowhere based off a simple Christmas gift, which is pretty incredible to think about. And then to see the impact that it was giving other families of military veterans, there was just something speaking to me that, hey, this was meant for me. This was essentially a calling for me. And through this mission, we could definitely make a big impact, and we have over the last decade.
Yeah. So who gave you that gift and
That was my
why?
mom. It was my
And
mom.
why did she, it wasn't your Purple Heart. Had you already earned your own Purple Heart by that time?
No, funnily enough, I had uh, got the Christmas gift right before my deployment to Afghanistan. So I had it for a few days. I tried to research it, was unable to find anything. And then during that deployment, I was wounded myself on 11 September of 2010. And it wasn't until I returned home that I was successful in returning that first medal. So Christmas gift, I enjoy collecting antiques. A
Okay.
lot of people in my life have said I have an old soul. I don't know if that's true or not. Um, but I do enjoy old things. So I do collect a lot of different things. And one of those things specifically is military memorabilia. It wasn't something I asked for. Again, local media coverage happened. It went viral. Sometimes, unfortunately for me, at that point, I thought it was unfortunate. I started getting inundated by requests from all over the country, even across the globe. People had these medals. I didn't realize the significance or the size of how many of these medals were out there. And it wasn't until my second return. So medals started showing up at my doorstep unannounced.
Wow.
And
Wow.
in my mind, I said, what do I do? I wasn't planning to do this full time. And I said, well, if I did it once and it had the significance and the impact, maybe it could again. And it wasn't until my second return that the aha moment essentially presented itself to me. It was a veteran's sister, and she loved him. She wanted a younger sister when she was little, but unfortunately, she got a little brother. Evident by the photos of him dressed in doll clothes or girl clothes. And she used to ride him around on the horse on the farm. She truly loved her brother, but losing him really put a hole in her heart.
Yeah.
Beautiful ceremony. Entire family was there. She got her makeup done. She got her hair done. It was her opportunity to tell everyone who he was.
That's
But it
great.
wasn't until about 30 days after the ceremony, I got a depressing call that she needed to speak to me.
Hmm.
And I could tell something was wrong right away. She could barely speak. And she said, Zach, I've just learned that I have throat cancer and it's come out of nowhere. And she told me something that will stick with me for the rest of my life. She said, because of the loss of my brother, I couldn't go to a single 4th of July or Memorial Day ceremony. I couldn't even look at the United States flag because it reminded me of him.
Yeah.
And bringing that medal back, you know, has kind of helped close that hole that's been in my heart.
Hmm.
And for my entire life, I've been afraid of death. And bringing that medal back, I feel as if my brother is here with me and I'm no longer afraid to die. And she passed shortly after.
Wow.
So for me to think that something as simple as this piece of metal could bring peace to a woman's life at the
Yeah.
last stage, I knew right away that this was meant to be, and I had to continue with the mission.
And we're back, and this is the Something Significant Show, and I'm your host, Matt Gersper. My special guest star today is Zach Fike, an active duty Army infantry major with over 25 years of service to his country. He's been decorated with 2 Bronze Stars, the Defense Meritorious Service Medal, and the Purple Heart for wounds he received in Afghanistan. He was also nominated and selected as the 2016-2017 Military Times Army Soldier of the Year, and was the first National Guard officer to ever win this prestigious award. And now with his organization, Purple Hearts Reunited, he's on a mission to return lost, stolen, and misplaced military medals of valor to veterans or to their families in order to honor their sacrifice to the nation. And Zach, I am so thankful for your service, and I love your mission at Purple Hearts Reunited. And I think you're also going to love this article that I found on livescience.com. It's called The Science Behind the Power of Giving. And it says the act of giving itself can be a gateway for discovering your reason for being on this planet. It tells how science supports the idea that giving one's time and talents and treasures is a powerful pathway for discovering purpose and overcoming difficulties and finding fulfillment and meaning in life. So I updated our formula. Power plus purpose plus giving equals really happy. What do you think, Zach? Has giving your time and talents and treasures been a pathway for discovering your purpose and for getting past difficulties you've faced and for bringing real meaning into your life?
No, I couldn't agree more. Having served in combat scenarios over the last 2 decades, both in Iraq and Afghanistan and peace support operations in Kosovo, you know, as soldiers or first responders, you see good things and you see bad things. Then you have to process those things as you move on through life. And PTSD is very serious. It's very real. And it's hard for soldiers and other service people to transition from the military and to pursue an ounce of normalcy. It's very challenging. So for me, the nonprofit has given me a mission that can carry on through the rest of my life. All the hard work, sacrifice, the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into research and traveling across the country to return these medals gives me purpose again. It gives me meaning in life to sit down with a family and see the raw emotion on their face, to understand what this person meant to them, what it means to them to have this medal back, how we're expanding their history or educating them on things they never knew. I mean, it's endless. And it's just a huge blast of power, emotion, significance. I walk out of there, I'm on cloud 9. You know, I hate to joke, but it's like being on a drug. It's being on a narcotic and you just want more. And it gets really addicting to serve others. And it just makes you feel, you know, minus the accolades, I don't really care about a medal. I don't really care about a plaque. You can't really explain it until you've seen it and you've felt it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. And science tells us that giving to others brings real meaning into our lives. And the feeling that you get from that 4th element of significance, what you were just mentioning, doing work that creates value for others, it confirms it. It's that joyful drug that you described. But there's something bigger at work than just the giving. Zach, what I've come to learn is that's when you're giving from living in your purpose, when you've found your thing, and that's where you're giving from, that's where the real magic of life comes from. So now, Zach, even with your description you just gave us, the audience would, and I would like to experience how it makes you feel to be happily living your life and giving to others through the work you were put on this planet to do. And people all around you are taking notice, not just the ones you're taking, not just the families you're taking the medals to. So just sit back for a minute, open your heart, and have a listen to what people are saying about the impact that you're making on their lives by finding the magic of purpose in your life. One person told me Zach Fike embodies an unwavering dedication to his country and a profound commitment to honoring those who, like himself, have sacrificed for it. Another said his Purple Heart return events brings to the families love, happiness, healing, and closure, and memories they'll never forget. There's seldom a dry eye in the house, but they're happy tears because in that moment, they are very close to their soldier. Another wrote, he's a true American, exclamation point, followed by 3 heart emojis and 5 US flag emojis. Others said he's resilient, determined, and has a genuine love for his country, family, and those who have served. Passionate, a steward of history, an old soul trapped in a modern day soldier. He gives the gift of reconnecting loved ones to families in a way they never, ever thought possible. He spends hours and hours in an effort to locate all the missing Purple Heart recipients. He pays attention to every detail, making each event as memorable as possible. Participating in the Purple Heart return events has created bonds and friendships that have carried on long after we returned home, just like he said it would. Zach brings history to life, not at the 20,000 foot level, but right up close and personal as he digs into the past. His detailed bios of a person long gone, many just 18 or 20 years old, who died in battle 75 years ago, allow their spirit to be alive once more. And as long as we say their names, they shall remain in our hearts forever. He is and always will be a hero to me for what he does. His patriotic spirit not only inspires, but serves as a reminder of the significance of selfless sacrifice. A fellow soldier said, if Zach calls on me, I'm there. And finally, your mother sent me a picture of you with the snowman that you sent home during your deployment in Iraq. And she wrote, when he was deployed to Iraq with special forces, I, like any mother, was very worried about him. But when I received this photo and I knew that everything was going to be all right, Zach always found the good in any situation. I could see the spirit of Zach in this photo, that despite being away at war, tired, dirty, and probably wanting to come home, he made the best of a bad situation and took the time to show me that he was all right. Zach has always been my hero. Then she finished with this. I believe Zach was meant to be a link between these soldiers who are no longer here and their families. So Zach, how does all that make you feel?
The piece from my mom obviously touched me a little bit. She means a lot to me, but I guess I'm gonna have to pay off a lot of my friends for saying all those nice things. Those, believe it or not, sir, those are. It's hard for me to accept all of that. I think it's a pride issue. Soldiers, officers, and the military are taught, to be humble. But I do believe that this mission is creating all of those words you just mentioned. And I've seen it. I really do believe in some strange way that these veterans are communicating, not just through me, but through us here on Earth, whether it be through the family or through mutual acquaintances. I've been able to meet some amazing people, and through just circumstance, help people that might not have known they needed help. And I that's not me searching. That's God putting them in my life, God putting me in their life, and just connecting the dots. And maybe I have the unique ability to do that. I don't know. But I've definitely learned it over the last decade. More importantly, what is probably the neatest thing for me is when I first started this mission, I couldn't find anyone else doing it. Specifically for medals. I mean, sure, things have been lost and found and returned over the centuries, But now we're seeing it on a larger scale. So in a small way, people are hearing our story. They're learning the significance of these military items and what they could do for a family, as you've been inspired by just doing the research you have done.
Yeah.
Now you feel it. Now you kind of want to do it, and you're going to rush out to maybe that antique shop and look for these items. And we're starting to see a revolution of people doing the same thing. And I'm pretty proud of that. To think that something as simple as a small gesture 10 years ago can now persuade people all over the world to do the same thing. I can't even accept that. It's still hard for me to believe that maybe I started that. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. So to truly capture the exponential power of our happy formula, Zach, I've got to tweak it just a tiny bit more. To power times purpose times giving equals happy to the third power. And that's really, truly, deeply happy. Does that sound about right to you?
I do, and I think it's important, and I hope I'm not going off track here, but with anything in life, specifically in our society, when you're doing something that is significant or you're doing something that might be different, uh, all those comments you read were positive, but you're going to have a percent or two that are going to be negative, and you
Yep.
can't let that steer you in the wrong direction. You can't let that demotivate you. You have to look past that negativity. You got to stay focused and understand that this is a purpose that needs to happen. And I think that's a really good message to send out there, that don't let the naysayers keep you down. You keep doing what you're doing.
So let's wrap things up with a lightning round, Zach. I love the power of words and the capacity of great quotes to change lives. So I'm going to read a few of my favorites and have you tell us what they mean to you. Give us the first thing that comes to your mind, Zach, because we call this a lightning round. Here we go. From Confucius. From Confucius. It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop.
Power of determination. Just keep going forward. In the military, that's all we know. You get to the objective, no matter which way or how, but you got to accomplish your mission and get to the objective.
Yeah, do not stop. From Carrie Jones. The secret of happiness is freedom. The secret of freedom is courage.
Courage is hard. You're not born with courage. It's something that you learn, in my opinion. But you got to have the courage to do what's right and stand up for what's right. And I guess don't listen to the negativity. Find your own internal courage and run with it.
Yeah, good. From Albert Einstein. There are two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle.
I feel like I'm living a miracle, to be honest with you. God presented that miracle to me through the nonprofit, and I'm just blessed to be able to drive it in the right direction.
And finally, Zach, this is the show anchor from Goth. Whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now.
Don't have any fear. Take the leap of faith. Whether you think it's a silly idea or not, go for it. Put your heart and soul into it. Don't let anybody tell you differently, and you can achieve greatness.
Yeah, good. Okay, folks, now it's your chance to be a giver too. If you can hear my voice and you are inspired by today's show with Major Zachariah Fike, won't you please share a little love with our amazing broadcast team by giving what you can to WITV7? They're a 501c3 charity on a mission to educate, empower, and encourage. They do good works with your kindness. Zach, I love your passion for our country and for the patriots who have sacrificed their lives to protect our freedoms and our American way. And I admire your service as a soldier in the United States Army and how you leveraged that 25-year plus experience to create Purple Hearts Reunited and continue to serve by returning lost, found, or misplaced military artifacts and giving families the opportunity to reconnect with their heroes' memory and their own family history. And I'm super happy that you've shared your dedicated, determined, and patriotic spirit on our show today. And I also want to thank WITV7 for hosting and promoting our show so we can keep interviewing inspiring guest stars like Zach and reaching folks just like you, ready to create your own extraordinary lives. And most especially, thank you, viewers and listeners. You'll find links to social media and all things Zachariah Fike. Find him, friend him, learn all about the Purple Hearts Reunited. Share the good works, share their good works that they're doing with your social circle to raise awareness, and support them by donating what you can when you can. Just go to purpleheartsreunited.org. That's PURPLEHEARTS reunited.org. One more time, purpleheartsreunited.org. From me to you, dear friends, I love you and I want you to be really, truly, deeply happy too. So go to happyliving.com right now and take our happy quiz, because measuring your happy helps you focus attention on it, and focusing attention on it attracts change and learning and improvement all to flow right into your life. And once you take the quiz, and it only takes a minute, then give some thought about what we can do together, you and me, to improve the happy of your world, one person at a time. Till next time, I'm Matt Gersper. You are awesome. And this is the Something Significant Show.